Point 1. Sudden, unexplained fatigue wasn't sick. He didn't complain, just tired. That's what his family said. He was tired all week, but we thought it was normal, just age catching up. But on the seventh day, he didn't wake up. A 72-year-old gone in silence. No pain, no final goodbye, just fatigue, the quietest alarm. Fatigue isn't always just getting older. We all get tired, but when your body starts giving up on basic energy, it could be your heart, your lungs, or even your blood sugar, especially if you're over 60 and the fatigue appears suddenly, stays for days, and doesn't improve with rest. Elderly man skipping his usual morning walk, lying down again. His wife noticing his face looks pale and his breathing seems heavy. Warning signs to watch closely. You feel breathless even when sitting or talking. You stop enjoying things you once loved because you're too tired. Your arms or legs feel heavy, like they're filled with sand. Sleep doesn't refresh you anymore. Your face or lips sometimes look unusually pale or gray. These are not normal. These are red flags. What it might really be. This kind of fatigue is often tied to congestive heart failure, when the heart can't pump blood properly, anemia, not enough oxygen in your blood, chronic kidney disease, waste builds up and tires your body, type 2 diabetes onset, when sugar gets stuck in your blood and can't be used for energy. The fatigue is not just from aging, it's your body silently trying to survive. Animation of a weak heart beating slowly. Diagram of low red blood cells failing to carry oxygen. True life quote. My father stopped eating. He didn't want to leave the house. He said he just felt off. Doctor's advice. If you or your loved one over 60 has been feeling this way, it's time for a blood panel and cardiac checkup. Don't guess. Don't delay. Fatigue is not a personality change. It's a signal. You've lived through decades. You've raised children. You've worked. You sacrificed. Don't let your own body fail you in silence. Get checked, even if it feels small, because in these little symptoms, sometimes the countdown begins. Elderly person getting blood drawn. Doctor listening closely and reassuring him. Fatigue is not weakness. Fatigue is the body's cry. I am trying, but I need help. Listen before it's too late. Point 2. Shortness of breath or chest discomfort. He was always active, never one to sit around. But last Thursday, something changed. A few steps up the stairs, and he froze. I just need a moment, he said. His hand rested on his chest. No dramatic collapse, no loud gasp, just a quiet pain and shortness of breath. The heart doesn't always scream. The movies taught us wrong. We think a heart attack is sudden, violent. But in real life, it can whisper, especially in older adults. You might feel pressure, not pain. You might just feel tired, dizzy, winded. Elderly woman slowly walking in a garden, stopping often to breathe, close up on her hand over her heart. Warning signs often ignored. You're short of breath walking a short distance. You feel tightness in your chest during basic tasks. You feel like you can't get a full breath, especially while lying down. There's a burning or squeezing sensation that comes and goes. You suddenly wake up gasping. Elderly man trying to lie down, then sitting up quickly, breathing fast. Why this happens after 60. As we age, our heart and lungs begin to slow. Blood vessels harden. Oxygen delivery weakens. Shortness of breath isn't just getting older. It could mean coronary artery disease, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, pulmonary embolism, a blood clot in your lungs, or a quiet, creeping heart attack. Animation of blood vessels narrowing. airflow diagram showing oxygen restriction. He didn't want to make a fuss, said it's probably just indigestion. But indigestion doesn't make you dizzy. It doesn't crush your chest when you walk to the kitchen. These signs aren't dramatic, but they're deadly. Real-world experience. One woman said her husband had shortness of breath for 2 weeks. The day before his appointment, he passed away in his sleep. She kept saying, "If I had just made him go sooner." A grieving wife sitting beside a framed photo. Doctor's voice. If breathing becomes difficult, at rest or with minor effort, you must act immediately, especially with chest tightness, jaw pain, or pressure in the left arm. It's not anxiety. It's not indigestion. It could be your final warning. You don't need to be brave. You need to be alive. Go to the doctor. Let them run the tests. Because many people don't get a second chance. The heart only gives so many warnings. A closing reflection. One breath. That's all it takes to change your story. Take your body seriously. Don't wait for collapse. If your breath is failing you, it's your body begging for help. Point 3. Sudden confusion or memory loss. He stood in the kitchen, staring at the microwave. He couldn't remember how it worked. Just days ago, he had made tea in it, every morning. But now, the buttons made no sense. And when his daughter called him Papa, he blinked, confused. "Whose child are you?" he asked quietly. Brain's sudden confusion is not just old age. We expect a little forgetfulness in old age, a misplaced key, a missed birthday. But sudden confusion, sudden memory loss, that's something else entirely. It can signal something life-threatening. Elderly woman trying to recognize familiar faces, holding her head with both hands, overwhelmed. What to watch for? Sudden disorientation, forgetting where you are or who you're with. Trouble finding words or speaking clearly. Repeating the same sentence over and over. Acting strangely or seeming off to loved ones. Trouble recognizing faces, objects, or familiar surroundings. Hallucinations or seeing things that aren't there. Close up on calendar and clock with blurred background. Elderly man pointing at the wrong date, looking puzzled. What it could mean. Mini strokes, TIAs, full stroke, Alzheimer's or other dementia onset. Severe infections like a UTI or sepsis. Medication reaction or overdose. Low blood sugar, hypoglycemia. Animated diagram of brain with blood flow blockage. Elderly person in hospital bed being examined. Doctor's words matter here. Sudden confusion in seniors is a medical emergency. It could mean the brain isn't getting enough oxygen, or that an infection is already overwhelming the body. The brain is a fragile thing. A fever, a clot, a lack of sugar. That's all it takes to cloud a lifetime of memories. A daughter's story. My father called me by the wrong name. Then he asked when his mother would be home, but she had passed away 40 years ago. That's when I knew this wasn't normal. We took him in. The doctor said it was a stroke. They caught it just in time. Flashback montage of father-daughter moments, from childhood to now. Hospital room with quiet heartbeat monitor. You know your loved one. You know when something feels off. Trust that instinct. Don't blame age. Don't wait to see if it passes. Call for help, because the brain. Point 4. Unexplained weight loss or loss of appetite. In the silence of the evening, he sat at the dinner table. A plate of warm soup, his favorite, lentil and cumin. But he barely touched it. "I'm not hungry," he whispered, again. And as the weeks passed, his shirts hung looser. His belt tightened another notch. No one noticed until it was too late. Losing interest in food is not just aging. It's easy to dismiss a smaller appetite in older adults. Oh, he's just not that hungry anymore. But weight loss that's not intentional That's not just getting older. It can be the body's first and only cry for help. Old man getting up from bed, his back visible, bones more pronounced. Measuring tape showing thinner waistline over time. Warning signs to watch for. Sudden drop in weight without trying. Clothes becoming looser without effort. Complaints of feeling full quickly. Skipping meals regularly. Lack of smell or taste. Saying food doesn't taste the same anymore. Elderly woman picking at a sandwich, leaving most uneaten. Food being thrown away day after day. What it could be hiding. Digestive cancers, stomach, colon, pancreas, thyroid problems, severe depression, chronic infections, dementia and swallowing issues, side effects of medication, medical scans showing tumors, animation of thyroid imbalance and appetite center in the brain. Doctors explain. Appetite is tightly linked to your body's internal balance. If someone suddenly eats less or begins losing weight without trying, it's often a red flag. In some cases, it's the only early sign of something deadly. A shrinking body often means something else is growing inside. Something silent, something dangerous. The son who saw it too late. He always loved his food. Big breakfasts, midnight snacks. But one day, it just stopped. I thought it was grief after Mom died, but then he lost 15 pounds, and by the time we got him checked, the cancer was already stage 4. Father and son at a hospital window, a black and white flashback of healthier, smiling times. Here's what you can do. Monitor weight monthly, even at home. Encourage small, frequent meals. Check for dental or swallowing issues. Ask about food taste or stomach problems. Get blood tests and a full checkup if weight drops more than 5% in 3 months. Caregiver preparing a food chart. Elderly couple happily eating together after small adjustments. Poetic closure. Food is more than fuel. It is memory, celebration. When it disappears, so does joy. Watch the plate, because behind that untouched spoon may lie the beginning of goodbye. Point 5. Shortness of breath or chest tightness. He loved his morning walks. Every day, rain or shine, he'd greet the sunrise with steady steps. But lately, he'd slow down halfway, breathing heavier. Must be the humidity, he said. But one day, he clutched his chest, sat on a bench, and never got back up. Breathlessness is not just getting old. Many seniors dismiss shortness of breath. They think it's just old age or being out of shape. But sudden breathlessness, especially at rest or during light activity, can be the warning sign of something far more dangerous. Elderly woman climbing stairs, stopping halfway with visible discomfort. Close-up of rapid chest movement and her hand reaching for support. Chest pressure or tightness. Listen to the body. This feeling isn't always pain. It might feel like a squeezing or pressure, a heavy weight on the chest, a burning or fullness, discomfort in the shoulders, neck, or jaw. In older adults, it's often subtle, but equally deadly. Rubbing his upper chest and coughing slightly, then continuing to work at his desk. What it could indicate: coronary artery disease, CAD, congestive heart failure, pulmonary embolism, blood clots in lungs, pneumonia or COPD, heart attack in progress, especially silent ones, graphic showing narrowed heart arteries, animation of lungs filling with fluid, struggling to breathe. Doctors say when older adults experience breathlessness, even when it seems mild or occasional, it could be the beginning of a heart or lung crisis. The scariest part? Sometimes the classic crushing chest pain never comes. Instead, it's just exhaustion, or a little pressure, or breathless. EKG monitors, chest x-rays, and doctors consulting with concerned families. A real story. She was 68, still active, played with her grandkids every weekend. But she noticed climbing stairs left her gasping. She delayed the checkup. Then came the day she collapsed in the garden. Diagnosis: severe heart failure. If we had caught it 3 months earlier, doctor said, she might still be here. Flashbacks of a grandmother gardening joyfully, then transitioning to an emergency scene with sirens and paramedics. Red flags you must never ignore. Shortness of breath while resting or lying down. Difficulty breathing at night. Chest pressure during minor tasks. Wheezing or persistent coughing. Rapid heartbeat or skipped beats. Swollen legs or ankles. Possible heart failure sign. What to do immediately. Don't delay. See a doctor. Get an EKG and chest X-ray. Monitor blood pressure and oxygen at home. Reduce exertion until cleared by a physician. Rule out pulmonary embolism, a silent killer. A digital heart rate monitor in a home care setting. Elderly couple in a cardiologist's office, listening intently. Poetic close. When breath becomes labor, when air no longer comes freely, it is not weakness. It is the whisper of the heart, begging you to listen before the silence becomes permanent.